Hello, everyone. It's H&D Abroad. Welcome. Glad that you're here today. I'm Herman. This is D. And it's been a long week. We've had sunshine most of the week. It's been a little gray today. We are tired, but we are here. And just trying to catch up for the week, just trying to catch up for the year, make sure we are sharing with you where we are in this process. So jumping right in today, tell you who we are. We're H&D Abroad. Again, I'm Herman.
I'm Dee.
And at H&D Abroad, we are mid-career professionals who are sharing our journey to find a place that looks like home as we look to move abroad. We want to help other Black couples see moving abroad as a plan A, both for generational wealth and for healthy living. So if that sounds like something you're interested in and you're new to our channel, we ask that you would subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live. Hey, Homemade. Hey, Tanya Brooks. Hey, Dr. Linda. Good to see you. Glad everybody's here. As you are coming in, please tell us that you're here so that we know that you're here. This is a conversation. We're always here to share, to talk, because this community is really important to us. You want to give a little feedback about our newsletter and merch store? Not yet. Okay. All right. So we oh wow. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Hold on. Maybe this is on mute. Linda said it was on her side. Okay. All right. Glad you can hear us now, Dr. Linda. So we there we go. A year ago, we started our channel with the intention on sharing our journey and really trying to share this experience as we filled our way through. We recognize that there weren't a lot of couples doing this as a shared experience online. So having to really, found a lot of single people. There were Black people, a lot of couples that weren't African American that were sharing this experience. And we really wanted to figure out how to share what our experience was as we kind of flowed along. We have bounced through a lot of experiences over this past year, and a lot of that has been because of our interaction with you. And we just wanted to kind of spend a few minutes and just kind of highlight some of those pieces today. What was really important to me was the relationship part of this process, seeing couples talk through how to make this work. We saw, I never get her information right, San Miguel Michelle, and the conversation she had with her husband about his experience when he moved to Mexico. She had moved to Mexico first. The conversation with Lamar and Angela of Lamar and Angela when they discussed the process for them moving abroad. And in this conversation, I said, well, let's try to see if we can have a conversation, because unlike a lot of people, we hadn't decided where we were going. We were still exploring. We still are exploring. In the course of the year, we have had a chance to do a little bit of scouting, and we've had a lot of opportunity to talk to people from many different places who were either in the process at the time or had already completed the process and were sharing their experiences, from Central America to South America to Southeast Asia to Africa. What I forget? Any other places we talk to people?
I think that's about it.
That's about it. So Ecuador, Panama, and Mexico, various areas in Mexico, a few different places in Africa, a few different places in Southeast Asia. And we have learned a lot. We have looking at over our videos. One of our first videos was where was I? Oh, I lost my notes. Just our guide, our planning to guide to moving abroad. That's what it was. Several survival skills for navigating the move abroad process. And one of the big things that we talked about in that process was community. How has community helped you in this process along the way? Has community been a piece for you? Has been beneficial to you?
Always.
Any particular way?
Just ideas.
Okay. So, one of the things that we've done in this chat is Dr. Linda. Hey, Greta, good to see you. Hey, Abex girl, and Lori Butler. It's these conversations have really touched on something that I think I took for granted. And that was interacting with other people, interacting with people in this experience, and how that influenced how I thought about that, what my engagement was. When I did the very first Black Men Move Abroad video and spent time with those gentlemen and engaging them, realizing that some of the questions and the concerns and the challenges that we had were the same. Didn't realize that. You take for granted this is in my space. This is in my. The ladies have had a really profound and connected community and conversation that I think sometimes we as men, we don't really tap into. And these couple conversations, a lot of these people that we've interviewed, I haven't had a chance to meet them till we're actually sitting across the screen from them. And it's been a really great conversation in that process. So we've, really tried to build into that community, answering, do we need Black spaces in other places that we had the conversation with? Tell me the name again. No, it went right out of my head. We had the Black spaces conversation with her and her husband. That's been a really important process. Looking at one of the things we talked about in our first video was beginning the process before you move abroad. A lot of the habits that we believe you need to take into this process really need to be something that you engage in before you move. So health, you've done a lot of the self-care Tuesdays. How's that helped with what are you trying to share in that process? When you do your healthcare Tuesdays, what's the information you want the audience to know when you're sharing those?
Probably the most important thing is you take your whole self with you. So it's more than just the mechanics, the logistics of changing your location. You are a whole person.
Yeah. Another part that was important is building on the relationships, especially when you're traveling as a couple, when you have a partner with whom you're building this process. What you're working on at home or not working on at home is not going to change when you are living somewhere else. Just because you move to a new house, your relationship doesn't change, and the things that you want to build on are important to build on in that. That conversation about convincing your partner, we struggle with that convincing piece, because that's, it always feels like I'm forcing you to do something All right. So we're having to ad lib a little bit. There we go. We're sorry.
Yeah, y'all gonna see way more of the house today.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so not sure why, but the whole internet just kicked out of us. I don't know if it's happening in the neighborhood. Anyway, we'll keep it short today. Um, oh man.
Flexibility.
Oh man, I lost whole train of thought.
Let's see. So the title of today's live is really taking stock of your wins, but acknowledging where you've had an opportunity to grow, the flexibility you've needed that you thought you had, that you need to work on. So probably the thing that I probably wanted to bring forward was, I might not have done all the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be so much farther ahead on decluttering and cleaning things out. Not one room, not one space is completely clear. But now I have decluttering partners. So Dr. Linda and Kat, who's going to be on with us of Rebloom Room later this month. They are my declutter clearing out accountability partners. Every Friday night, every Sunday, we are doing something together to get a space or something cleaned, because I need to see things change. We did both the first residency visa with a facilitator to Mexico, and we did the second, which extended our residency for an additional 3 years. It doesn't feel like a lot, but like now I know I have somewhere to go. So, I think part of it is perspective. I think in the move abroad goals that we set at the beginning of 2020, there were money goals, and the money ain't mathing. The money's not mathing. We've had unexpected car repairs for us, for our kids that we've helped out with, unexpected medical bills this year. But I have, when we shared on Thursday, remote work has come through, whether that is, we talked about a lot of different options. Contracting work has been helpful. Tutoring English online has served us well in the past. So, I think when you are looking at what did we learn, what were the highs and the lows, I think you have to balance the conversation, because I'm an all or nothing, where I'm either in it and it's moving, or we're not, and it's a waste of effort. And I've had to find a way to have a middle ground that is, how do you document those incremental parts of the move abroad process? Because it's physically difficult. It is emotionally difficult. It is a financial add that, in a regular budget can get eaten, because you've got today needs when I'm planning for future needs. But you're not by yourself. You're not having if you are lifting this process alone, it is heavy. It is heavy. Hey, from Brooklyn, we were just in Brooklyn eating wonderful Jamaican food in Brooklyn.
Hey, serving teacher Nikki.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then people saying, okay, so you all are tracking to 2024, but you probably need to be ready to make a move sooner. And Servant Teacher Nikki's story tells us right there that, look, you might be planning for the end of 2024, Q4. In our We Out support group, there are ladies that are leaving in Q1. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a Q4, but you probably want to be ready now, because if an opportunity presents itself, do you have the I have just enough in place to get out the door? Do you have some thoughts around? And so we've been kicking that around in several of our videos, is if we had an opportunity to jump faster, what could we have in place?
I don't think I was prepared for just how much the current life, the current circumstances, the current things that we have to deal with on the day to day to press in and affect that move abroad. You know, it's just kind of like, you know, we're planning, we're moving, we take care of some things, we pack up, we go, and as Dee said, you know, the unexpected has poured all over our space this year.
I'm gonna go grab the. You keep talking. I'm gonna go grab the cord.
Has interjected on our space this year. To those of you just coming in, I apologize. We're having to use the phone. Our internet just dropped out on us in the middle of the beginning of this on the computer. So we jumped on the phone so we can keep going. Now we're having to adapt as we go. Yeah, Linda, life is life, and might be the understatement of the century this year. It's been exhausting. And that's not to complain. That's just, you know, putting reality into full effect. I mean, you know, everything costs something. Everything is affected by something. And it highlights, I think, why a lot of people get shifted into retirement age before they move, because then all that's done. You know, the house is potentially all paid for, the kids are gone, the grandkids, we can contribute, but they're not our responsibility 100%. You know, these things are gone, the taxes are lower, blah 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 blah. We're right in the middle of all of that, and it can be overwhelming, it can be frustrating, but we are pressing forward.
Sometimes you're fighting with yourself. Sometimes you're fighting with your partner. Sometimes you're sitting in disagreement and stubbornness. Sometimes you don't want to talk about it. Sometimes you're just like, look, I don't want to do this because this is comfortable, because it's what I know. And I'm fighting for something I don't even know if the picture that I see that I've built for myself is really worth it. But that's a goal. I mean, you are reaching for something that you don't have. You are creating space to move in ways you've never done before. It is uncomfortable. It is, sometimes you have shame, because, you ought to know that. You ought to know how to do that. That's out the window. I still feel like if it's worth having, it's worth fighting for, whether that is in your marriage, if that is how you want, how you want to raise your children. I'm willing to fight for and give myself a new experience. I don't know who said this on a live or in a conversation with me, but you know, when you look at the US has problems, but I'm ready for a different set of problems.
Hmm.
I'm really ready for a different set of problems. If I'm struggling here, I could struggle somewhere else that doesn't cost me as much, you know, where I can really double down and focus on a little something instead of everything. I feel like being a something. So, you know, finding a path may mean that the path evolves. Where I want it to go, you know, kind of is looking doable, but it is definitely not the easiest path. And then places that or opportunities, I was like, I would never do that. You know, or that's for young people, or that's for people who don't really need any money, is actually how it's looking more favorable that that may be how we get out. And then we've got a graduated plan. We start here because work is easy to find and we can drop in here. And then once we get things set up, once you know, our individual businesses are able to support us, then we can move to the second place. I mean, that's what this process has meant for me is the world is for the getting.
Mhm.
I'm here for making moving abroad, not a perfection box, you know. And I might have to be bendable and flexible with the opportunities to get what I want. You didn't learn how to walk first. You know, you got your cruisers, you got babies that our son crawled backwards first.
All up under the couches.
And now he's an engineer making a lot of good money. You know, it comes different. And you don't, what I'm learning is you don't have to have a lot of money. You don't, but an incremental savings. I mean, if you are an investor, that is a big lesson as I'm in with Sonia with From Lack to Legacy. Man, you can turn $50 into some beautiful zeros when you give it time. So what else do you want to say?
Yeah, easy is misleading. Consistent, persistent, really digging into it is important because it's going to be a process. You're going to have to say every day, this is what we're doing, because so many other things can make you say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of trying to do this. It's hard. And if it's important, you keep pressing forward into it. You keep digging into it. There's some good days and there's some not so good days, and there's some bad days and there's some great days. And it's just, what do you want? And I think it not only applies to this process, it applies to wherever we are in our lives. What do you want? And are you willing to go after it? Are you willing to dig back into it? What's the end goal? What's the process? We dug into some really hard work a couple of years ago so that we could pay off some debts. And it was hard. There's no other word for it. It was hard. It was tiring. But at the end of that, we were able to say we put that behind us. And some of that is in front of us again. And we have the goal and we are pushing it hard. There are tears and frustrations and anger and sadness, but there is a lightness of knowing, okay, how do we figure this out? Because we do this together. Whether you're doing this alone or doing this with someone that you care about, that might just not just be a partner. That could be with your children, with parents, depending on where you are in the versions of your relationships, and you're sharing this experience with someone else trying to do this, and you're doing this together, you got to say, we're still moving forward, even when forward doesn't seem possible, or forward has two different opinions, or however many opinions you're trying to take with people going. People say they have their teenagers and they're going on, and you're including them in that process. Those are voices. Every day, do it again. I am proud to have been able to work through this process with Dee as we try to learn how to do this. This YouTube experience has, I think it kicked it out. This YouTube experience has been,
I didn't want to tell my business. Baby, that's what Black people say. Your business is your business. You don't share your business out in the street. But I can guarantee you all have been encouraging. This community has said, we want to see more. We want to know more. We want to understand. And I was just like, we're called to that. And so we share, even when I would rather be, or when I say I'd rather be sharing all the beautiful, oh, look, now we're ready and our house is clear and it's sold, or, whatever we're going to do. Baby, it's ugly. This process can be ugly. This process is exhausting. But this process gives and gives and gives. I listened to Stephanie Perry this morning. I needed that word today. And so you have a light. You have a light. Dr. Tijuana, I see you. I see you in them San Miguel streets. That, like they say, they're, oh goodness, I can't believe I'm about to try to quote the Bible. There's a time and a season. There's a time and a season. In this Move Abroad process, there's a season for scouting, and there's a season for sitting still. There's a season for movement, and there's a season to ask questions of the people that are close to you, and there's a time to speak up for yourself and advocate for yourself and see the power within yourself. There's a time to do your Googles and do your research, and there's a time to hire somebody and get it just because it's done. It's in the done, so that it gets in the done column. If you need that, do it. If you need to take a break, take a break. There is somebody I'm bringing on in January. We're going to talk about, restart after a setback. People are having some major setbacks. I'm talking about emotional setbacks. Having family members who have needed you on the ground. Don't lose your dream. It is still your goal. It is. Look, I have looked at people say, I can't leave right now, so I'm going to buy. So you're going to see me in these U.S. streets a few weeks, and then I'm going to be out there in my international streets. And I'm going to do that until I can get things settled. Y'all, freedom is not one picture. It is individual to you. Yes, there is healing. There is healing. Yes. Oops. Okay, I was trying to put it on the screen, Greta. Come on. Yeah. Oh, shucks. They won't do it. Okay. There it is.
Yeah, she was talking about the car a minute ago. Cars? We're fixing cars that are not even at our house.
Because we are parents who love our children.
And
so we're helping. We're helping because I can help today.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need to be setting yourself up to be helpful tomorrow. So these same job hunting skills and all that, talking to our kids about, because mom and dad are gonna be on the DL with the money for a little while once we leave. You have to have don't I'm not saying people need to be a jack of all trades, but you need to have some rabbits in a hat.
So every teacher like sadness is the disappointing part of it, because you're doing this to be
Joyful.
joyful.
At ease.
Yeah.
We are having fun today.
Woo!
Give yourself patience. Give yourself grace. Cry when you need to cry. Laugh when you need to laugh.
Have some folk in your corner that you can just, our We Out group. I'm like, hey ladies, it ain't like I talk to you. Do we need to schedule a call and just get on the screen together? Get a circle. It is worth the effort. Find people who are going to the same place as you, that or maybe are on the same timeline. I cannot say enough that the experiences are both logical and emotional, as well as the lessons. The decisions that you have to make are life altering. But if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. And like, I'm ready to break out of that.
There is a measure of risk to this that has to happen. Our conversation is not just how do we take care of these things and get them out of the way. It's how do we take care of these things, and because if we wait, if we take the format of what our life has been since we've been married, if we wait for everything to clear itself up,
we'll never go anywhere. I feel like I'm trying not to be, conspiracy-ish, but it just feels like at every turn, the more money you make, it just feels like mayhem.
Yes.
Mayhem smells that.
Yes, Mayhem knows our address, and he keeps driving his car through our front door.
I'm just like, come on. I mean, it's, and so I'm, it literally has gotten to be come hell or high water. I mean, we're always going to take care of ourselves. I had a decision to make about a medical treatment, and I was just like, well, I could save, dollars, $4 by maybe delaying this procedure. And I was like, girl, really?
Yeah.
So that you can pay somebody else? So really? I mean, you into saving money, like to save your life? No, that's not what we're doing. I may not be able. We've decided that the first 6 months of the year, we're gonna knuckle down and not travel. But house sitting called, and I answered. And so, what did I do? We found some regional. We found a regional airlines that's gonna get us there for less than $80. And look at here. We're gonna take advantage.
We're gonna practice travel. We may not have any more than, what did they tell us we could take? A backpack?
Yeah.
So we're gonna find out if traveling with a backpack or two is really gonna be worth it for us, because movement. There's been so much that we have sat on trying to wait for things to flush itself out. When we first started working, we went into the work world as 23-year-olds with the mindset of we have to earn our time. And we let people bowl us over until we were well into our 30s, well into our 40s. I don't have time to wait. I don't have time to wait. And it may never look like we drew it up December of 2022. It may never look like that, but it's going to look different than it does today. And that is a push. And sometimes it's a shove, and sometimes it's a drag.
So, yeah, so we, at the end of 2023, we have a place that we can spend the next 3 years and then be eligible for permanent residency. That is a win.
It's a big win. A place that we like. We didn't just pick a place. We picked a place that we like. So if we actually if we end up in Mexico the rest of our lives, we're not angry. It's not our plan, but we're not angry because we like Mexico.
Love
Mexico. But we'll be all over the world from Mexico, just like if we live right here where we are now.
Yep, we're in the good old South, Tia. TT, yes. TT, we're in the good old southern US of A.
Yeah. If you're new to us, we haven't moved abroad yet. This is a part of our process. We are stacking visas
and stacking opportunities. So I thought everybody knew.
Yeah.
I mean, so one of the things that I thought I would never do, or let's see, one of the things I thought I was too old to do was to teach English. And not to teach English, be a language assistant. Guess who's filling out language assistant applications? I was like, baby, when you can make euros, you can make euros. And you can get out of here when the rent is $500, is $400.
When we first started watching the Yarbrough, we were like, how are they running around all over the place? Yarbrough went up to you because they were doing that doggone thing. And we are too skilled to be sidelined. And nothing that we do, what we have to learn, what we had to accept is nothing that we are doing now is starting over. That was a fear. That is a fear that I'm going to start all over again. And they're going to treat me like a newbie. You're going to treat me entry level. You're going to treat me. And we are the professionals we insist on being, no matter what the work is that we're doing, because it is a stepping stone forward. It is a press forward. And that's kind of how we have to look at it. Your buddy.
Girl. Yes, illogical. But it doesn't even have to make sense to, but you know what? It don't have to make sense to nobody but you. And this process has had me to have to say to people that I love, I understand your fears for me. I understand your concern for me quitting that good job or me doing that good job in a different way. But if it doesn't serve the life that I want to live, why would I stay there if they're not the only employer on the planet? And even if they were, Dr. Linda, I'm not trying to size myself up for a job, because there are people that have service needs and I am a service provider. If I can, like I said on Thursday, if I can get paid to do this skill for someone else and make them wealthy, I can afford the $1,200 life in Thailand with the skills I already have.
I will Google translate myself to death because I'm not learning everybody's language, but I will Google Translate myself to death.
Baby, let me tell you the passport game. I heard somebody else say it like this month in December. It was Adelia, as a matter of fact. Adelia said if I could do it all over again, I would make sure that my kids, all of my kids, had their passports before I left.
And how you
Our
applaud.
oldest, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna drink this haterade. You going to get this passport photo today. Your daddy is gonna take you to the courthouse because you're gonna fill out this application today.
She was not happy.
She was not happy.
She was not
And guess
happy.
who was the first one talking about, yeah, we going to New York. Yeah, where we going next? What?
Yeah, after
Oh,
she,
now you got a passport. Now you all popping collars.
after she told me earlier this year traveling wasn't a big deal. But that has to be the legacy we leave for them. Even if all the big plans we have in our heads only translate to little pieces of successes everywhere, it's a big success. All of our children have passports. They can walk up and go wherever. We can call them to wherever for any reason. We can all pack them in the car and drive across the border. Everybody's got a passport. It is the beginning of success. Serving Teacher Nigga said they can stay in Mexico too. We'll be right there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just group up with all the groups down there.
Yes, we can use transferable skills. That's right. That's right. That's right, Dr.
Ooh,
Tijuana.
Ooh, Greta. Ooh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you don't know until pressure comes where you have to push back.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been in the flow, it's easy to stay in the flow. You don't even know. I mean, there are things about you don't know until some pressure, until there's a rock in the stream, until you know, what's going to happen if the water overflows? It's going to flow down and flow out. I mean, you know, and how can I plan for the things around that? Can I plan for it? For everything? That was the lie I tried to sell myself with this process. Is when I reviewed 2023, if I cannot deal with needing to be mentally flexible and allow the process in some ways to unfold, I am going to be angry, disappointed, and make his life hell. So if I want things to be different, I'm going to have to approach it with a mindset of, we're going to make it work. So when we talked in the Mexico video, and I was just like, well, if it works out, when we decided we were going to do this process, the residency process, extension process ourselves, I was just like, well, this is either going to be a very nice vacation,
or we'll have visas,
or we'll have visas.
And we
got visas and got our trip cut short. So what I say,
yeah,
you just got to be ready to roll.
We got our visa in day one, and we got our trip cut short by a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is. 2023 has poured all over our heads, but just like I wake up every day, and you wake up sick, you woke up sick. You're sick till you're not sick no more. You didn't come apart because you got sick. Every opportunity, everything we can get a hold of, we press into, because forward is that way. And where I'm headed is that way. So I'm headed forward. Hey, Adelia, good to see you.
Okay, Adelia, let me give you your flowers. Let me give you your flowers, ma'am. We are in the chat to give you your flowers. We always giving you flowers, but we're giving them on our channel to you today. because like you need people who share and who are inviting you to learn and saying things like the math ain't math, baby. That is like my everyday vocabulary vernacular now. The math ain't math. But we're not just out here complaining and talking about how things are not working. We are talking about, you are talking about doing the things to move forward. And I appreciate you. I let Herman listen in the background. And he was like, what did Adelia say? Or he'll tell me, remember Adelia said, okay, so you got all kind of people quoting you, ma'am.
So if you're still listening, I appreciate the knowledge you bring to the table. I appreciate the honesty that you bring to the table. That information, it's about the specifics and the logistics and the honesty of it. And that is beneficial to me. I'm a grown man. So I will search information and receive information and growth from anywhere. And I want to say to you, while you are here, that I appreciate the growth you promote for your audience and for those of us who get to listen on the side. It is highly important and useful, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I'm going to encourage everybody, take a minute. I actually have a journal that I write in every December. Usually I'm writing in that journal on New Year's Eve when my house is clean and I'm waiting. I don't do watch day service no more, but we really, sit and reflect on what was 2023. Whether that's Stephanie saying what we not gonna do in 2024, or just acknowledging the where I was in 2023. And I've been able to look back as I've gone back into the years. And I think I'm using the same New Year's Eve journal, like maybe I'll call it that, New Year's Eve year in review journal, to look back at when my kids were before they got to high school, and the kind of relationship I wanted with them. I would write, what I saw successful in my life and where I wanted to grow physically, emotionally, financially, in relationships. Taking stock is really important because you can lose sight. You can lose sight and lose a lot of the momentum. You don't even recognize that you are in the process. So yes, doing that 2023 in review, but it's not enough. Letting go of a few more. Letting go of people, places, and things, and staying connected to the right ones in 2024. That's it.
I gave up on New Year's resolutions years ago. And what we transitioned to was a focus for the year. So with intention, get out of your head. What's my purpose? Because it gave me something to focus on, something to direct my attention on that wasn't, I got to lose weight, or I got to be more active, or I got to be a nicer person. It was what am I here for? What do I want from me? What helps me feel good about me? And sometimes it's, a positive statement, stay focused. And sometimes it's get out of your own head. That was me for this year. Is talk out loud was mine for this year. Talk out loud. As men, we solve it in here. because we're afraid that we're going to say it wrong, come out wrong. And so we try to fix it in here, and we cause the exact problem we're trying to avoid. So mine is talk out loud, and that is a continual struggle. And these are not the phrases of this year. These are the phrases that I build on for the years to come. So it's still what it was last year with intention. Life moves fast.
At 50?
And at 50, it was just January. We just sat to this space and had our first live that nobody was there except nobody. Okay. And we were trying to decide whether or not we were going to do it again.
Yep.
And we got on the next week, and I think we might have had
a couple of friends.
Yeah, I think some people that we know join. And that's the funny part about it. The people that we know, they ain't never joined since. But the community that we build in this past 12 months have been a valuable experience for me. They've been a point of growth for me, because I can only speak for me. I wasn't sure if we were ever going to have men join this group. I see you, David. I see you. And yes, I'm looking for tossing some skillets with you. We're going to do that, my man. It is an ongoing daily process. I don't know if we always want to do this. There are days.
I don't know.
But I don't want to ever miss an opportunity for you to teach us something.
Absolutely.
For you to share something with us. So
yeah, so we've got things planned. Let's see. So y'all know I'm gonna get better with making sure that the link to our newsletter will be in the description. Come back. It'll be in the description box. We're starting the process of communicating out with you and creating new opportunities for us to connect in the new year. So we'll be sharing more about that on the channel. We will probably be going live regularly during the week. Mm-hmm. That is a part of our plan, because the rubber is meeting the road January 1. And we're not waiting till 2024 to actually make progress with the physical things in our space. So things are for sale. Things are our children are staking their claims on what they want, because everything else is out the door. I'm making donations to schools. Because this is happening. Iyanla Vanzant, in one of the earliest meditational books that I read from her, said, the worst that could happen is you could come back here. And the US is not going anywhere. I'm willing to take the risk of failing forward. If I were, let's see, I'm trying to remember the way that Stephanie asked the question today, but I was just like, I still fight perfection. Like, if it can't be this, then it can't be. And I'm like, that's going to keep me right here. And I think that's the way that is my current fight, is that what if I can't find the job that I meet all of the requirements? Why do I keep trying to shove myself into somebody else's vision? Why can't I say, this is who I am and what I can offer, and how have people come to me? It's a different mindset. I'm challenging myself in a new way. And 2024, this stuff is happening in 2023, so that it becomes the second nature in 2024. I'm not waiting until the new year to start the me that I am to the world.
We're going to have our successes, and when we fail, we're going to fail up. Because failures is a part of the growth process. I'm not afraid of failure. And if we have to reset, we reset. I've had some people who were really disappointed and really broken because they had to reset. I'm not letting reset. It would have been great to have been wherever we were going at the end of this year. Would have been great to say in January,
peace out.
2024, look out for us. We're going to do what we're going to do. And we ask you to continue to support us and stand with us and like this video. And we will explain to all the people in the future all the tech problems. Internet just gave up on
tried to take us out today. Also, YouTube was not letting us be great. We have super chats available. We have super thank yous available, and it took it away from us. So we made sure that the live chat is up and available, that the super chat opportunities are visible and available. So if you would like to support our process as we are launching in 2024, we've got merch that says "We Out." So if you are joining us, look, Kat said, I'm building a room in my house. She's building right in her garage where she's not paying for storage. She's going to rent her house and make her a part of her garage, her storage. Y'all, I'm telling you, if you are not in community, people are offering up options and opportunities because we're leaving. I want to create the momentum in the universe. I want to say that I am ready, not just with my lips, but with my actions. And I know that the universe will respond positively to that, because we want you to also be that. So if you are moving abroad, I'm going to encourage you. Turn on the camera, document your process.
We'll be out there tearing down some boxes today. We might turn it on Instagram. So if you want to go watch us fight with some 90-pound book boxes,
we'll be on this afternoon.
Do your process. We support you. You support us. We're H&D Abroad. I'm Herman. That's D. And we'll be back again in a minute. See y'all soon.
Bye.